Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
San Rufino's on Highland Road. Welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Glad you're with us today. Chris Massaro will be joining the show, along with, of course, Bruce Marshall. Troy Macker, a Friday, our first Friday without not too much college football. We got Army-Navy tomorrow and the Heisman, and a good slate of college basketball.
You got a bowl game tomorrow too, huh? Tomorrow night?
No, I thought it was just Army. Is there a bowl game tomorrow night? Probably should know these things. I thought it was just Army-Navy tomorrow, but you may be right. That's how in tune I am to.
Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Boise State and Washington in the Los Angeles Bowl.
Wow, is that the Snoop Dogg Bowl?
The Los Angeles Bowl.
Los Angeles Bowl. Okay. That used to be the one that Jimmy
Kimmel
did.
Bowl.
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg.
Good game.
Yeah. If you get your players, if you have enough of your players.
Do you have a better chance to retain the players when it's a quick turnaround like this?
Probably.
I would think, huh?
Yeah. You don't have that layoff. Yeah, I would think that you do. I was looking yesterday at LSU's bowl roster. Depending on who actually plays in this game, I don't think it's going to be quite the 30.
Kansas State?
I don't think it's going to be quite Kansas State, but I don't count more than about 45 guys that I know are going to be there. I think they're going to take the field. We'll put a pencil to it when we get closer, but I think they're going to probably end up taking the field with somewhere around 45 scholarship players, somewhere between 40 and 50. So it's not like they're going in there.
They still do letters.
Hmm?
They still do letters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many lettermen do you average a year for a college football team, an LSU team?
Wow, Jimmy.
75, 70, 60.
I don't even. It used to be you had to have half of the quarters played to earn a varsity letter. I haven't looked at the lettering rules in a long time, but it used to be you had to have 50% of the available quarters. If you played one play in a quarter,
let's just say that's the criteria.
Okay, sure.
Say what do you think that is? What that number is? 60, 65?
In the 60s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the 65, you bring in 45.
If I had to set an over/under for scholarship players that will dress for the bowl game, I would set it at 45. Something like that.
Okay. You're doing
that can actually play.
But some
in
of the
games.
scholarship players might not be playing.
Right, like Whit Weeks is going to go, but he's not going to play. Okay, and I think he'll be.
No,
back
but he's lettered. I mean,
sure,
but he's you got to count him as being minus. I mean, injuries / opt-outs.
Mansour Delane is not going to play. Nussmeier obviously is not going to play.
He's
but
really
probably
good.
Probably somewhere in the probably somewhere in the 40s.
He was as advertised, boy. I mean, how about that? He didn't make – is the all-SEC team out yet?
Yeah, but he and Halsey both made it.
First team?
Yeah.
They deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them had great years.
It's amazing how that little – because you really can't tell in practice how you could tell Halsey might be that good. It's just hard to tell, but instinct. You can't tell until they're playing, like how instinctful somebody is.
He stood out because the first practice I saw him, they were in full pads, and you could tell the physicality of him.
You could put on tape and see that at Houston.
Yeah. But no, the punch outs, the punch out at Ole Miss, such a huge play down by the goal line.
He plays faster.
Yes,
he plays faster. He breaks on the ball, and I tell you. LSU, and it did not live up to expectations. That damn secondary never dropped an interception. I mean, it's like 50-50 when DBs get their hands on the ball like that. I mean, tell me when they dropped. I mean, they got their hands on it, bro. They broke on balls. I mean, they were really good. Really good.
They led the league in interceptions, and they were seventh in the nation.
They're just part of the. You get pressure when you get those picks too.
And they didn't have a lot of sacks. The sack numbers were down, but the interception numbers were way up. 17 interceptions on the season was seventh in the nation and tops in the SEC. Yeah. And, looking at next year, what we know now before the portal, the secondary is probably the position group that I feel best about going into next year, because you'll have Woodland.
How can we tell right now?
Well, because they have four guys that I know have assuming Cooley comes back, you have four guys that have played a lot. You'll have Woodland and Pickett at the corners, and you'll have Cooley and Spears at the safeties. So those are four guys that have played a lot of football for LSU that you can start with. I don't have another position group where I have probably as many experienced guys coming back. The offensive line, I guess, but those guys didn't play really well. All of those guys in the secondary played pretty good football this year.
Well, it took about 2 or 3 games, and I'm like, just kind of how these all-conference teams can be a joke. Yeah. I said, okay, let me see. So Delane never made all-conference in the ACC, and he's going to be first-team all-SEC. And I could tell at that time he was going to be hard to unseat. I mean, you know how I like to evaluate cornerbacks a lot, and and think so highly of them as far as their impact on the game. So, but I mean, you tell me what's a better league? Who's producing more pros, the SEC or the ACC? So, good for him, man. No hard feelings. Not participating in the bowl, man. You earn your money coming over here and performing the way you did this year.
When they take a look at this college football calendar, when the playoff gets set, you think that there's any chance that some of these bowl games will move to the first week? That, you like the Peach Bowl years ago. They said, we're still going to have the Peach Bowl, but we're going to have the Chick-fil-A Classic in the opening week.
Have you looked at the bowl calendar this year? Have you seen on January 2nd?
There's like 4 games?
4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
On January 2nd? I mean, when's the portal? When's the portal open? January 2nd?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Huh? No, the bowls are they're the big chunk of them are facing extinction. And over our broadcast career, Charlie, following this, they've only grown, and to the point where some people, man, there's too many bowls. Well, because they thought it was prestigious to qualify for a bowl. And then you just had to get a winning record. Then you just had to get a 500 record. And then we saw losing records, getting in. Mississippi State one year got in as a 5-17. And there's been some others as well. But that's okay for some of the less prestigious bowls to just go away. That's okay. And I'm fine with I was always excuse me. I was always, give me more bowls. You can change the damn channel.
Right. I mean, nobody's forcing you to watch.
Right. I mean, so if we want to watch, there are 20 people in the stands, but it's made for TV. There are people in their bowl pools or betting on the games or whatever. I'm sorry. Now, I saw a really good Christmas show the other day, though. It was really good.
Christmas.
That futuristic Star Wars type of thing set in New York, where the Rock saves Christmas.
Okay,
Red One.
Okay,
it's good, Charlie.
All right,
that's good. I'm telling you, it was good. Well done. So I saw something that you didn't see.
Yes,
I'm
not. You're so much more well-rounded.
No, I'm just more of a jolly person.
Oh,
more in the spirit of the holiday season.
One of the first things I noticed about you. Absolutely. But some of these things. For instance, I'm just going to take. This is probably a bad example because both of these teams were top 5. But Penn State and Clemson are going to play in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. Okay, this is what your season could have been bowl. All right.
Dabo did it again. He not all of them, but he beat Louisville on the road, beat South Carolina on the road. Won these games when they're completely out of them. He does a pretty good job of keeping his locker room motivated when they're clearly not playing for the goals that they had set out for before the season started.
So what do you think Penn State and Clemson is going to draw at Yankee Stadium?
Oh, God.
And how many? What is it going to draw? And how many players? How many scholarship players are those teams going to have? I can't imagine LSU's alone in this situation.
No. That's probably
50
But Clemson
something?
doesn't have a lot of turnover. They don't have a coaching
They don't have
turnover.
as big of a turnover.
It's completely
transfer portal.
It's complete. Right. Yeah, they rely on it. I guess a trip to New York during the holiday season. Yeah, that's good, but in that cold weather, I mean, is it going to draw 30, 35,000? What does Yankee Stadium hold for a football game?
For a football game, I have no idea. And what would it have drawn if you would have had that game, play it at MetLife at Giants Stadium?
Well, how about just a traditional?
September.
How about Tampa? I mean, how about a traditional? during giving the people from the northern schools a reason to go down to the south and have good weather. I think if it was at Raymond James or whatever they call the Buck Stadium these days, I still think you would draw 50,000.
What if you had it in September? What if that game would have been in September?
Oh, well, you could.
What were you drawn?
If you played happy, it's sold out.
Yes,
of course.
Okay, and this is kind of my point.
But is that going to be part of the regular season?
Yeah.
Well,
another kickoff. Add to the number of kickoff classics that we're having instead of the number of bowl games.
Charlie, they've been adding on to those, but nobody's going to schedule those anymore because all the selection committee cares about is. And look, who in the SEC is going to schedule an 11th game? I hate it, but if you got 9 conference games in a mandatory Power 4 non-conference game, I can't get on these schools for not scheduling anybody else tough. There's nobody who's going to schedule Notre Dame out of the SEC now. I mean, who would do that?
Unless it's your mandatory power group. If it's that game, the one you have to schedule. But
they're not Power 4.
They count them, though.
Oh, they do?
They count them.
Oh, yeah. Another exception.
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
They're
I'm sorry.
Notre Dame. They're different, didn't you hear?
Charlie, about 30 to 35,000 is what these games have been holding at Yankee Stadium. Nebraska, BC was 30,000. 35,000 when the local team, Rutgers in Miami. So a 2018 game got 37,000. Yankees, it's about 50,000. So, 30, 35. Yeah. I mean, Penn State's just – man, they have such a strong following. Even with this, and this is probably the least desirable bowl trip they've had in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But they would still bring 15,000.
Schedule's out. What we knew was that Clemson would be up at the top. The non-conference game filled in is Louisiana Tech in week 2. And then the Ole Miss game, which is the one everybody wanted to know when it was going to be, is going to be the first conference game. It'll be September the 19th in Oxford. You can pencil that one into prime time, and it's one of 2 non-conference games that LSU has in September. Ole Miss and Texas A&M will be the second one, and then McNeese at the beginning of October. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn.
So your two Red Winds are early.
Well, Clemson's one of them's in week 2. The other one's the first week in October. McNeese.
Well, yeah, but not in November.
No, the November schedule's brutal. It's Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas. That's after the bye, and the bye is the same traditional week, October 31st.
Arkansas looks more appealing than ever.
Yeah, it does. Last 2 games on the road.
I mean, the SEC is going to cannibalize itself, man.
If you just look
I
looked at the grid last night. You know, the grid where it's got everybody and where they play, and you go, wow, okay, this is going to be a haul. And when I told you yesterday, however these lined up because of LSU's permanent opponent, I'm fine. It's okay. I look at this schedule, and there's one thing, and this is within LSU's control. What would I do? Same thing you'd do. Take that doggone McNeese game and move it to week 0.
Absolutely.
Because you
don't
go back.
Think you need now more than ever. Okay, so that's fine, Verge. We know Verge's stance on this.
Yeah.
No, we're LSU. We're too big and bad, okay?
Yeah.
But I heard Lil Lane say, Verge so gave me the keys and said, I'll let you coach. Well, you got to let me schedule.
Right.
If you're going to let me coach, there's nobody in their right mind would not like a bye week in the middle of that damn stretch run.
After the Ole Miss.
Put McNeese in week 0 and go down and Well, done this year. But,
it's going to have to be the first week in October, but it would be after Ole Miss and Texas A&M and before the Kentucky, Mississippi, Auburn stretch. But more importantly,
Charlie,
there's an 8-week. They got to play 8 weeks in a row.
Hold on. You got to. The week before rivalry week, there's still some teams that are going to get Auburn and Alabama. I'm sure in Florida, still have their cakewalk. Then they have to. They're not going to take that away from them. They're not going to do that. But there's no bye week. There's no bye week for the first time between LSU and Alabama before the game.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
they still have their bye week.
The bye week is and
okay. So where's Alabama?
Florida plays Vandy the week before they play Florida State.
Okay, so that's okay.
And Alabama plays. Well, they get Chattanooga.
Okay, and Auburn gets
Samford.
There you go.
Okay,
so
Florida doesn't get theirs.
What about Texas and Texas A&M?
Texas
before their game.
Texas plays Arkansas the week before that, and A&M plays Oklahoma. So, no, they didn't get it. But 8 straight weeks is a haul. You would get that bye week after 4.
Yes. No matter where it is, Charlie.
Yes. 4, 4, and 4.
Yes. Yes. That Lane Kiffin. Yes. And does the new schedule kind of wake Verge up a little bit on this, or alter his opinion?
What's on
everybody's schedule is tougher.
Okay, so what's on the schedule now was in large part scheduled by Joe Oliva. He scheduled his Clemson this series, and obviously when they scheduled these, they didn't know there was going to be 9 conference games. So it's kind of from here on out what you're going to do.
We're over here at Ruffino's today. Lobster ravioli and the broiled filet tips. I was here last night. I had the broiled filet tips for an appetizer feature. The entree features today, the steak frites, 14-ounce, 44 Farms New York strip, truffle fries, and the sauce à poireaux. Suggested wine pairing is Valvon. I can't see, Charlie. Give me my light. Damn it, Charlie.
Well, not withholding it from you.
Hollywood Handy comes in here 2 minutes before in tennis time, and, he expects me to warm up our opponents. Anyway, the grilled Gulf fish, fresh catch, sauteed Gulf shrimp, the couche risotto.
Couche.
Hot boudin. Chili butter.
Push.
Our beverage features today, the Dom's Inferno, Knob Creek Bourbon, Amaro Montenegro on bitters, smoked cocktail. Barry loves a smoke machine over here. The winter, and I had the Etude last night. A real good cab, a bold cab. This time of the year, it's perfect. Of 2017 out of Napa Valley was excellent last night here at Ruffino's. Festive, man. Parties over here. They're getting the bells. It's going on over here at Ruffino's.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let's go out to San Diego, talk to our buddy Chris Massaro, professional sports gambler. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Jimmy. I'm in Vegas still, so
okay.
Not back to San Diego yet, although it's been very warm in Vegas. Not usually accustomed to this time of the year. It's usually really cold, but we've had some beautiful 70-degree days out here, so I am not complaining.
This is this the weekend we were out there? Rodeo weekend, Charlie? For the but no, maybe next weekend. The first bowls, a handful of bowls.
It was the week before Christmas.
Yeah, a couple of NFL games, and stuff like
LSU
that.
Against
Rodeo still in
St.
town,
Mary's.
Chris?
Oh, yeah, the rodeo 10 days started last Tuesday, Wednesday, goes through this weekend. Everywhere you go, everyone has a cowboy hat on, so it's pretty festive.
It's a big deal.
It's good. I bring my boots this weekend every year. So
there you go. Very good.
I had no idea it was. I'd never go to Vegas that time of year. I had no idea how big the rodeo was out there.
Well, it used to be where they kind of remodel and kind of reorganize the machines. They've tapped into a kind of a dead spot there. But do you have a cowboy hat, though, Chris?
I do not have a cowboy hat. Okay. I actually own one, but I did not bring one. It gets
okay.
You don't want to get damaged, on the trip over. So, but a lot of people you see walking around with their cowboy hat holders. They're very prevalent in the lobby. You see a lot of these guys. But I'm telling you, like you said, you don't anticipate how big it is. It's absolutely massive. Every single hotel I think almost caters to it now because you got a great crowd. Everyone is in a great mood, a lot of tipping, a lot of, like Derek Stevens was talking about the other day, how it's one of his new favorite times of the year because the places are packed, people like to gamble, they like to drink, and I think Vegas does a really good job with it.
Okay.
They have it on and off. Like last night we watched the game, a few friends of mine, we were at the Westgate. We had a nice box. John Murray set it up, but they had one TV with the sound on with the football game, and the other big screen TV with the sound on with the rodeo. And there were more people in there watching the rodeo than that football game last night.
All right, now the real question: did you make any bets on the rodeo?
I have not made any bets on the rodeo, but our buddy Matt Humans was talking about this guy, Stetson Wright. And if you saw him 2 nights ago, the guy got stepped on by this giant bull. I thought he was dead, and he looks like he weighs 118 pounds, and he said he was good to go. He was out there roping and riding last night. So you got to have a lot of respect for these young kids. They're completely out of their minds, but tough guys. You can't knock them.
Human said he cashed in on Stetson at 4-1 and rolled it over to his next event, not even knowing what the hell was going on.
Okay, I got to plead ignorance on this. Are you making a joke, or can you actually bet on rodeo?
No, Humans bet on it. Yeah.
You can bet on rodeo.
Where can you bet on him, Chris? I mean,
Circa definitely definitely takes bets on the rodeo. Not every event. There's only certain things that they have where there's I think it has to be like a clock type of thing, where they have like the calf roping, where you got to get on top of the the head and then rope the hoof real quick, and it's a time thing, so you can actually judge it. I don't think they judge the ones where it's just like an 8-second ride, and then the Russian judge gives it a 10-point
over
10.0.
under 8 seconds. Can you do that?
Yeah, well that's how long you have to ride to get the.
But what different individuals you bet on them? It's just like a golf. It's future. I mean, to win the event. So I mean, listen. When y'all told me to recruit some devoted sports gamblers, but Matty Humans is a 5-star.
You realize they're saying we jumped the shark, right? They're betting on rodeo now.
Yes,
okay? They
yes.
jumped the
and
shark.
He has brought to my attention that we have to re-up because he's got other suitors for his weekly slot, his weekly spot.
Okay.
That Matt Humans raised his NIL stock a lot with betting on the rodeo this week. So we're proud.
Well, hey, he's going to have it all together because he's going to Nashville this weekend for a birthday party. So. Matt, I was down there. We all know what happened to me in Nashville. Hopefully, Matt gets out of there unscathed.
Hold on to your phone.
Both of them.
Hold on to your phone. All right, you're busy this weekend. You two, Max, do you have the tote board? Did Chris win our local competition?
Yes, he did.
Okay, well,
good.
Give the man his flowers. Go ahead.
Kudos to Chris Macero. Despite the fact that he doesn't like math, as we were talking on Twitter yesterday, he went 42-34 in college football plays this year. So
excellent. Thank you. I want to rebuff. So Max is mad at me because I'm not a math guy. I'm dumb. I grew up watching football with my eyes, not with a calculator next to me. And I just want to give everyone the information that if you go for 2 every single time when you're, if you're down 14, you get a touchdown, you cut it to 8, you're supposed to go for 2. That's what everyone tells me now. Well, last year you only got the 2-point conversion 41% of the time. This year you're only getting the 2-point conversion 31% of the time. So apparently these extra point kickers are only 31%. That's it. 31% of the time 2-point conversion this year. So that means if you kick the extra point, you're only kicking at 62%. Every team in the NFL, most of them are 100%. Even Atlanta with a lousy kicker is 96% on extra points this year, and last year they were 100%. So save me the analytics. If you have a bad team, if you have Kirk, if you're down by 14, there's a reason you're down by 14 because you're not that good, which means your quarterback's not great and your coach is probably terrible. He's probably going to get fired.
We have seen it we have seen it win some games. We're down 14, like the Saints-Packers game and some others. The Miami-Tennessee game, that was on a Thursday night. Monday night, a staggered doubleheader of one of those games. But we have seen 2 weeks in a row where it backfired on a team.
Jets-Bengals earlier this year.
Jets-Bengals, Jets won it because they hit, but 2 weeks in a row, Cleveland failed, and then last night Atlanta. Now they got an extra possession.
The only thing is, the misconception is that if you just go double, that means it's a tie. It's worth it. The actual math on this is if you converted a 96% extra point clip, which is the average, and that was Zane Gonzalez's average. Let's say it's 50-50 that you win in overtime, which yesterday Atlanta was an underdog, so it would have been lower than that. But let's say it's 50-50 and 96% to make the extra point. the actual conversion rate of a 2-point conversion, for it to be level, for it to be a 50-50 decision on whether you go for the extra point or for 2, is actually just 36%. It's not split in half because of the way the math
but
works.
what is
it's
the
actually
success?
just
Is it 31% for the league accurate for 2-point conversions this year?
I haven't seen it for this year.
31. Yep. That's very low. But
all
now,
you need is 36.
hold on, Max. Hold on. The Bills' conversion rate, I'm sure, is higher than the Raiders. So, I mean, they should.
That's my point. That's my point. You can't just lump them all in as one percentage, even though the percentages are my favor this year. Some of these teams, the play that they ran to tie the game down 2 was ridiculous. He ended up throwing it like a grenade backwards. I mean, you gotta factor in who the coach is, who the quarterback is, what the offensive line is. If you're a bad team, I would just kick the extra point. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. All right, we get to your picks. Who's your top 2 picks this week?
I really like this Chargers-Chiefs game. You got to remember, last year these two teams played early in the season. Kansas City won 17-10. Late in the year last year, very similar spot, 19-17. Kansas City got the win on Sunday Night Football. Both of these teams held each other under 300 yards that game. This is a very similar situation. You got a banged-up Chargers team with a banged-up offensive line. Pipkins, who's not even good, went out again last week. You got to figure with the hand and Herbert and the offensive line protection, they're going to try to run the ball, grind it out, slow the game down, because they're not going to be able to win any type of shootout with that offensive line. And if we've seen lately, one thing about Kansas City is they have no explosive playmakers anymore. All their drives seem to be long, time-consuming drives. And I think that's going to be the case this Sunday. And if you look at both of these defenses, both been playing really well. Kansas City obviously held a kind of an inept Houston Texans defense down pretty well. And the Chargers held the Eagles down on Monday night. You got a short week. I'm really leaning towards the under in this game. These teams seem to play slow, grinded-out games, not high-scoring games. And with the banged-up offensive line and the inept Kansas City offensive late, I like this game to go under 41.5.
Okay, under 41. Now, you kind of throw me off with the reference to the games. Remember, the first game in this was down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 27-21 Chargers. So you were bringing up games from last year?
Yes, I'm bringing up games from last year because I don't count these games that are played in other countries, and just I just kind of throw them out. You don't have your home crowd. It's not the same. It's just not the same. So I know they played earlier in the year. I know it was, that game started out slow, then it picked up the pace, late in the second half. So I'm just going to kind of throw that one out. That's when the teams were healthy, playing a little bit better. I like the under in this game. Cold game too is going to be a high at 23.
All right, your next pick.
I like another under, and this one is just maybe a square play. I played it earlier in the week at under 40, but you have Cleveland and Chicago, and they're going into a polar vortex where it's going to be 10 degrees with the wind chill minus 10. You have two quarterbacks who have been playing in warmer weather in their careers. I'm not sure about Caleb Williams. I'm not sure about Shadur Sanders. I know Cleveland has a great defense, and Chicago's defense out of nowhere is starting to play a lot better, but this is just basically a play on the weather, and due to the fact that it's going to be negative 10 degrees, no one's going to be wanting to, run deep routes or make explosive plays in this game. I just feel like it's a total under game. Cleveland, Chicago, cold weather, negative 10-degree wind chill factor. Let's go under 39, Cleveland and Chicago.
Under 39, Cleveland and Chicago. All right, good. I'm glad you've taken a little bit of steam of, Max tries to tell me every day the things that I saw that didn't really exist. So I'm glad that you're getting some of that attention now as well.
Well, it's nice to know that I had a bunch of people tell me I was wrong when the last 4 times we've seen it, I was right. So I don't know. Apparently, I'm still wrong. I'm 4-0. I'm 4-0, but apparently I'm 0-4.
You're ignoring the wins conveniently.
Enjoy the weekend, Chris. We will talk to you next week. Good luck to you, buddy.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith, Chad Reynolds, all want to wish you and yours Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from our folks over at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Can you bet on the bull instead of the cowboy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Now you're getting silly. No, don't mess with the integrity of betting a rodeo.
Just
okay?
asking.
All right.
This is not a
I like
mocking
to be
matter,
informed.
Charlie.
You know,
It's
if I'm going to be
important
able
stuff.
to do this, let's do it right.
Ho, Hanny.
Live at lunch from Rufino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Troy, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, not bad. Just buckling up for a cold weekend here in the Mid-Atlantic and prepping for some fun college basketball and the Army-Navy game, and obviously another exciting weekend of the NFL.
You're in the neck of the woods where they usually play. Have you ever been to an Army-Navy game?
Yes, I went to one of the, sadly enough, it's one of the only 2 college football games I've ever been to. I went in 2016, and it was awesome. It was played at FedEx Field where the Commanders play. It was awesome because it was one of the rare days where it was actually snowing, and it was just a light snow, not anything like Buffalo, but it was just a perfect backdrop. Having played lacrosse and being in the Mid-Atlantic, I've played against the Naval Academy. I've played many games at the Naval Academy, so I'm very much a Go Navy, beat Army person, if you care to know.
All right. So that's but that was a big upset last year, huh? Army was 11-1 and got beat double digits in that game. And they played. That was a week after they beat Tulane for the American Championship. So maybe a little bit of. No such thing as emotional letdown Army-Navy plays.
No.
That's not the case.
Under?
Well, the unders though, the numbers had fluctuated a lot and stuff. But this total has to be one of the highest in this series in a while, huh? Like 39 and a half.
They're 38.5 right now.
Yeah. So
and you know what's interesting is I look back at it and 10 of the last 11 Army-Navy games have gone under total points line of 38.5. But I bet you at least 4, if not 5 games were right at 38. So it's 38.5 is the right number for this game.
It was 39 last year, went over, but that was the first time it had been that high and gone over.
Yeah.
Well, it was 28 the year before.
Well,
pushed.
For Army though, man, their quarterback is kind of carrying a load right now, and he kind of surprised. Was that a surprise last year on Navy when he carried it like 31 times? So I forget.
Horvath for Navy?
No, Horvath is Navy.
Yeah. Oh, Army's right now is Helms.
Yes.
Cale Helms.
Yeah. All right. Go Navy, beat Army. I don't know, Troy, though. I got to take 6 points. I don't care who's playing. I don't care what the records are. You give me close to a touchdown in this game, I got to take it. I mean, these two teams. And we've already seen these two teams. Also, the adjustment. Charlie, I exaggerated a little bit. We talked about the one line was moved 6 points the day up, Army-Navy. I think Army was a dog for bowl games, and they went from a 3-point dog to a 3-point favorite. And the other one was like 4.5, 5. They jumped on both the military schools blind before they see any type of opt-out because they know there's not going to be any opt-outs for these guys.
Troy, you guys factor that in, the exemplary attendance for Army and Navy and Air Force if they're in it in the bowl games, knowing that you're not going to have any opt-outs and, well, the intensity level when you see that
participation,
action.
yes, it's much higher than most, yes.
It's probably baked in a little bit. I mean, especially just the armed or service academies, like they play at a higher intensity and their commitment is more. And even if they're undersized or less talented, I think that's a little bit baked in. But I don't know if how much. It's far more who's not playing for other sides than giving a team a boost or knowing what you're going to get out of them because they have everyone.
Troy, you got some good college basketball games tomorrow night. Arizona goes to Birmingham to take on Alabama. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, Bedlam. We know that's always going to be fun. They're playing in Oklahoma City. Arkansas and Texas Tech playing with the home of the Mavericks in American Airlines Arena in Dallas. And Kentucky, whose best win might be Nicholls State or Tennessee Tech, is hosting Indiana. So we got some good ones tomorrow. Any leans on anything you like?
Yeah, so, I mean, we didn't even mention UCLA Gonzaga.
Yes.
The game that's probably the most appealing right now, you'd never think it is Nebraska, Illinois. Nebraska's 10-0, Illinois 8-2, but ranked 13th. Very, very good team. Nebraska just put the boots to Wisconsin in just emphatic fashion, 30 points. Whereas the Pinnacle Center in Lincoln is for real, man. Nebraska ball is a real thing. Those teams in the Midwest, the Creighton has a great home environment. Nebraska's got a new stadium as of 6 years ago. It's amazing. This is great for Nebraska. But to that Indiana game, I love Indiana to cover. I think it will. I haven't seen the line yet. I think it's probably going to be like Kentucky -3. And to your point, Kentucky hasn't beaten anyone. If anyone they've played of merit, now granted, anyone good they've played has been ranked. They played a very tough schedule, but there's been no middle-of-the-pack team that they played to test themselves. They're in a bad way. Rupp Arena isn't the home court advantage you think it is. It's a giant stadium, but a lot of times the fans sit on their hands. A lot of the blue ticks, they call them the older people who are there to watch but not really get into it. I think Indiana's got some work, but I'm backing Indiana because I like Indiana a ton. I'm backing because I cannot trust Kentucky at all. This is a must-win game for them. It's funny to say that 10 games into the season, but this is also Kentucky. And the SEC is very, very deep, and they could end up in a bad way. They're sliding. I'm fading Kentucky, and I will be all over Indiana to cover. As long as the line's around 2.5, 3.5.
All right, Darren Peterson made his return as well after a long hamstring layoff. One of these great freshmen. Well, we got an incredible freshman class. He's probably going to be one of those top 5 picks. We had 17 points against Missouri, so he will be playing tomorrow in Raleigh against Willie Wade's crew in NC State. I would say maybe Kansas, maybe 1 or 2 point favorites on the road here. Troy, any feel on that?
Yeah, I would think so. I am watching Kansas. I guess I've watched most of their games, and it didn't have Darren Peterson, and I was kind of out on them. And I did watch one game when he was back, and he makes a huge difference. We see a lot of there are a handful of freshmen this year who have true takeover ability, and they all are playing well above their age. Now it's December, and once February hits and that wall starts to form, and that freshman wall, we'll see then. But I think Will Wade has NC State trending in the right direction. I don't know if this is their year, but I would probably take Kansas to win. I just think they have more talent, and I don't know if I give an edge to Will Wade coaching over Bill Self. If it's a close game late, I do trust Bill Self, especially when he has an elite talent who can make the difference in every game he steps the court in.
Young players, well, they usually improve their shooting. Well, Peterson's 6'9" guard who's shooting 54% from the field, 43% behind the arc. He's averaging 20 points a game. No, he's a difference maker. And they did pretty good, without him. Better than expected during that little stretch. But, no, man, he is DeBanco. Did you watch DeBanco? What it was for BYU, Troy? I mean, the kid, what's his name, is going Pete. Going to Arizona, going to Birmingham.
Pete, yeah.
I mean, you've got some great freshmen in this class, man.
Pete Wagler, I think, is a freshman. I know Tennessee's got one. Illinois' got one. I mean,
Tennessee, yeah.
Boozer.
Yeah, they're the litany of them all over the place, and it's really good. And I don't know if a lot of these guys are, red shirts or if they're straight from high school or if they repeated a grade. This isn't a typical freshman class. They just seem a lot older and wiser. That's one of AJ Devonta, the star #1 overall pick from BYU. That's one of his, aside from his freak athleticism, his real gift is his IQ, his level-headedness, his decision-making, his poise, his prowess. That's what makes him better than just a physical talent. And you see that. Cole Pete's the same way. He's a very smart, cerebral player, and he's a freshman. It's crazy. You don't see this. Usually you see, physically gifted guys who can get to the bucket, create space, and be better than their opposition because of their talent. And these guys are doing it talented and also because of their ability to beat them using their basketball IQ. I mean, this has been just a really good season thus far. I've been very impressed with the quality of games and the players as well.
Yeah, it's just not just the physical what we see, right? It was,
Right.
man, this guy's got to, he makes a highlight play. No, their decision making is advanced. Yeah, their basketball IQ along with their front. Quick, we're up against the break real quick, though, Troy. Biggest public plays in the NFL slate this Sunday.
Oh, yeah. It's this is a tough one. I don't really like any this week, I don't think, solely because there's just a lot of long spreads. The Seahawks are the biggest public spread favorite. But
Okay.
It's a huge number. And the Rams as well, which is very surprising. We've taken more money on the Rams to cover against the Lions. I know the Lions are in a bad spot, but they're still a very volatile team. And the Rams they can slip up from time to time. We obviously saw what they did against the Panthers. So that's one I'm a little iffy on, but the public is not. That's also in the 80% club on money and the most wagered on play.
Troy, have a great weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Our great team of bankers at United Community Bank, Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. Stop on by and discuss how we can help your business today at United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
More transfer portal news. Caleb Jackson, running back for LSU, has put himself in the portal. Got out to such a promising start in his LSU career as a freshman. Really showed a lot of raw talent. Didn't play a lot of high school football. He missed his entire senior year. The play I'll remember him for is that trucking he gave that kid at Auburn. And you looked at him, you're like, man, this kid might be he reminded me a lot coming out of high school when I saw him in his freshman year of Ali Broussard, who had a really good career at LSU. Never panned out past that, though. This past season, he only had 7 carries for 16 yards, 5 catches for 33 yards. Finishes LSU career 330 yards and 4 touchdowns.
One of our patrons over here just shared his little bet last night. Colucci went 3-0. Two of those were plus 115 money lines, and I went 2-0. He put them all together for $20, paid $620.
Nice, very nice.
How about that? 4th and 7, Max, Charlie. 4th and goal at the 7, down 8. 4 minutes to go. All 3 timeouts remaining. Would they have kicked a field goal? Down 8, 4th and goal from the 7, 4 minutes to go, all 3 timeouts left.
I think you're supposed to go there just because there's not enough time, even with the timeouts.
I would have probably kicked the field goal with all 3 timeouts left.
Close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, it's not a
my
slam
point
dunk.
is, I'm not sure what they were going to do.
What do you
Well,
think?
that was going to decide the spread.
Right.
I mean, it'll
right.
look like it,
Yeah.
So,
what do you think the chances of making a 4th and 7 on 4th and goal? All right, hour number 2 straight ahead here at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
Bruce, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, pretty good. Glad I'm not Sharon Moore this week. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I really think that Ward Manuel, his future is up in the air. He's a local guy of sorts. Brother Martin down in New Orleans, and they're trying to look into to see his knowledge, and for how long the timeline there. But this is, in the Spygate, whatever, with Harbaugh he was suspended for some games. Then you have this. I think it hurts the hire. I think it really hurts the hire. With some of these names you hear and throwing out there, like I'll be, and I think Kalen DeBoer is going to get fired at Alabama. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year, maybe the next after that. But what's the likelihood he leaves Tuscaloosa on his own accord? It's not likely. I mean, you're following Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's going to be, but I just don't. I think they're just going to go down the list. I think this is going to be not your typical attractive Michigan opening. I could be wrong. Bruce, your thoughts?
No, you might be right, Jimmy. And you mentioned the other shoe that still could drop, and that's Ward Manuel, because there are some regions up there, from what we hear, that are really upset. Not that Manuel dismissed Moore, but the circumstances around it. And apparently, like you said, there was indicators that Moore was a bit unstable, and this wasn't the sort of situation where you just call a guy into your office and fire him, and that's basically what he did, without some other, some human resource people there, some security people, some of that, and some of the stuff that has happened, the bad stuff that's happened after Moore got dismissed. Some people are pointing to Manuel and saying, look, you had a responsibility to sort of protect everybody from this happening, and he didn't. That could cost Manuel his job, from what we're hearing. So I think that shoe's got to drop first before they go about making another hire. I mean, it is a big-time job, like you say, but there's some stuff going on up there right now, and but it puts a big cloud over the situation in Ann Arbor.
There's no doubt. All right, Brucey, Army-Navy. These games are going under a lot, but those totals were placed a little bit higher. It's been interesting. These two teams run the same offense. It looks like they know. It's almost like they know the plays that they're running. They keep the ball on the ground. They run, but it's gone over a couple of times. The historic streak. Here we are again in 6. Seems like a big number in this matchup between Army and Navy. Navy started out 7-0. Forget the VMI game, but 0-6 at that point against the spread. Tomorrow here in Baltimore.
Yeah, Navy's pattern this year was winning close, not covering spreads. I mean, they had a very good year. I mean, this could be their 10th win if they get this one. Newberry had a great year last year. Horvath had another great year, though he didn't seem to get as much national publicity this year as he did a year ago. And you mentioned the angle, of course, is the totals thing. It's hard to believe, Jimmy. I mean, 2 years ago, the total on this game was into the high 20s. I mean, it was 28, 27.5, and right at the end, that game, their scores right at the end, it got to 17-11, and some people that ended up being an over. Now we got a total up in the high 30s, again, a little bit more normal. But I'm sort of like you. I don't know that Navy should be laying a lot of points. Army has been pretty scrappy. They don't have quite the diversity in their attack that Navy has. Horvath can put the ball in the air a little bit better than Helms on Army's side. Coleman took some snaps this year, but it's mostly been Helms lately. But Helms is an over 1,000-yard rusher, so they're going to be able to slow this thing down. I mean, I could see, a 17-14, 16-13 sort of game, so I think I would lean to Army a bit. I'll go back to the good old under in this one because I think it had gone under, 16 straight times before 2 years ago. And we know the commander-in-chief rivalry numbers are heavily skewed to the under. So
right.
With the total in the high 30s, I think we can risk that again.
You have some obscure bit of trivia for Army-Navy. You've got to have some tidbit somewhere with your encyclopedia-like knowledge.
What you looking for, huh? What's the Navy Army's advantage when the president's in attendance?
I don't know. That's
okay.
why I'm asking.
Well, what's
Bruce has got. I'll just bet you he's got.
Ho Handy's barking up the Bruce Marshall tree here, the historical tree.
Give me
what you got for us, Bruce?
Give me something.
Huh?
Well, I've only been to this game once, and I put it was in 2004, and I put this should be on everybody's college football fans' bucket list to go to this once. It was up at the Link in Philadelphia. George W. Bush came in. He had just been reelected, and he came in. And if you know where the Link is in Philadelphia, the airport's not far away, and you can usually see the airport, the planes on approach. Well, they had cleared out the sky for like a half hour before, and you think, what's going on? We don't see any planes. And then you saw Air Force One coming in and doing that big circle as it came over downtown and then over the stadium. And they before the game, I mean, this I guess happens when I've been to games in Annapolis and West Point too, but here in Philly, I mean, they had some F-15s coming screaming over before the game. They had those Apache helicopters, and calling those helicopters, those are like battleships with propellers. I mean, they just, everybody's looking up there in awe at them. But that was a great experience. I can still remember Dan Baker, the PA announcer, who's still doing it for the Phillies, I think. He used to do the football games there, and, every play, handoff, Kyle Eckel, Kyle Eckel. And the way Baker said it, he's really distinctive. But that's it. But I'll tell you, the game, the all-time game, and I thought about writing a book about this one, the 63 game. Now, this was postponed a week after JFK was assassinated, and they actually renamed the stadium in Philadelphia, the old one, Municipal Stadium, JFK Stadium, in that interim there. And this was the CBS telecast of the game. I can barely remember this, being very young then, but Lindsey Nelson calling the game, and Navy was ready to, if Navy wins, they go to they're on the way to the Cotton Bowl to play Texas for the national title that year, but Army put up a heck of a fight and was driving at the end of the game down 6. Ollie Stitcher, the quarterback, could not get off the last snap inside the Navy 10-yard line, and the game ended kind of controversially like that. But that game sort of got the United States up and running again because it had been such a funk after the JFK assassination. So I think that's one of the most important games, sporting games, and certainly college football, if not American sport history. 63 Army Navy. They've done some TV specials on it. I think it deserves a book too.
There you go. Well, that's sad, because I got to get to one of these games. I really do. Our buddy Jacob Hester does a morning show with us. Had to go for it, like serious, I think, and he went. And he said, "No, it's worth. It lives up to the hype." I mean, poor Bruce. And Bruce, I know you love your grandchildren, but you did them a disservice. They think the Stanford SMU game in Palo Alto is a bucket list. Okay, so I mean, come on, we got to work on the grandkids there, Bruce.
I'm working on them for this one. That's for sure.
What about the bowl game tomorrow? Boise State and Washington. Not a bad matchup, in an early one with Washington more than a touchdown favorite.
It's not a bad matchup, but one ominous note here, Jimmy. I think there's talk this is going to be the last LA Bowl. They were going to start this in the COVID year. They couldn't put the game on that year, so the first game was in 2021 after SoFi Stadium opened. Apparently, they're pulling the plug on this thing after tomorrow, and you just have to wonder about some of these other bowls after we've seen so many gain. More and adding bowls all the time. Maybe it's going to start going the other way because the financials in this stuff. If the TV isn't, that's all that's propping some of these bowls up. But it's not attendance in a lot of them, and the corporate sponsors are wondering too. So anyway, just a little sidebar there. Washington, pretty big year. This is the Chris Peterson game, and it was his last game, which was in 2019. He was at Washington, ironically against Boise in this very game, but it was in Las Vegas that year at the Vegas Bowl, and the Huskies won pretty big. I think Washington was still a quality team this year, and by the way, Jed Fish's name keeps coming up for every job, yes. And it's coming up for Michigan again. I don't think he's going to leave, but anyway, just as a sidebar there. But Demond Williams had a really good year. I haven't heard anybody's opting out of this game for Washington. The quarterback was very dynamic, great dual threat. This team could run. They ran for nearly 200 yards per game. It's a very solid team. I don't know how good Boise was. They did get Maddox Madsen back against UNLV in the game last week in the Mountain West title game, and he was obviously, the guy, the straw that stirred the drink for Boise's offense. But I don't know that this was a Boise team up to recent years. I would lean it with Washington there. I don't love it that much, but I think they've just got a quality edge, and they will win this, what might be the last LA Bowl, and this one, and sponsored by Gronk, by the way. He's going to be there, so for some extra added levity.
With more and more where it's a disappointment to make a bowl and not make it to the playoffs and some opt-outs and things like that. I mean, there's going to be some bowls that don't survive. I mean, I think no
Bahamas Bowl this year. My favorite discontinued bowl ever. Do you remember the first one of these? 2014 and 34-point fourth quarter.
No, it wasn't the
from
first. That was
Central
the
Michigan.
first one, Central Michigan and Western Kentucky?
Western 2014,
Yep.
the first ever Bahamas Bowl. Jeff Brom coaching for Western Kentucky. Central Michigan goes for 2 after the big play and the final seconds and didn't convert, so they lost by 1 after.
Me and Ruffin were in church for Christmas Eve when we saw that backdoor covered that one. Yes.
You on your phone in church?
I lost that one, by the way.
I had to get there early to secure my seat.
I
Yes.
understand.
Oh no, it's all. Yes, of course. Yeah, no, no way is my phone going to go off in church. But usually I leave it in the car. But no, it was. I'm sorry. Are you going to get a pass?
To Bahamas?
You show up 20 minutes early.
I'm sure God understands.
Huh, Bruce? Yeah. Huh? You know, I mean, anyway, Brucey. Troy, Jacksonville State, Old Dominion, South Florida, ULL in Delaware, and Missouri State and Arkansas State. All of these bowls going from Tuesday to Thursday before we talk to you next week. Which are your favorites?
Yeah, you've got a lot of CUSA and Sunbelt this first stretch of bowls here. I wonder now we do have some interim coaches coming in here. The South Florida Golish has left. They have already hired Brian Hartline, but he's not going to from Ohio State, but he's not going to take over until next year. So Kevin Patrick, one of the assistants, is going to take over. This was, I think, the best team in the American this year. I really do, but they found a way to blow those games against Memphis and Navy late, and it knocked them out of the championship. They're potent, but I'll tell you what, Old Dominion was playing very well late in the season. This number has been chopped down some. I would almost look at it over, unless I'm hearing, Byron Brown is not playing in this game for South Florida, and I haven't heard that yet. This is a lot of offense, and this total's not that high. So I would look at that one. Butch Jones next Thursday, our favorite coach. Now Missouri State. Here's another one of these. They got in because there were not enough bowl eligible 6 and 6s this year, and a couple opted out. Notre Dame, of course, but in Iowa State and Kansas State with the coaching changes, and they normally wouldn't have gotten an invite because it was their transition year up to FBS. But they get the invite here, and what a job for Missouri State! And I think their coach has just been hired away there. Arkansas State, though, has been a pretty good bowl winner. A pretty good. Butch Jones doesn't have a bad bowl mark over his career. In fact, when he was at Tennessee, he won all of his bowls. Arkansas State played pretty well down the stretch. They had some close games, some exciting games. The quarterback, as long as he plays, Jalen Rayner, I think gives Arkansas State the edge. I wonder about some of these like Missouri State and Delaware. Now, actually, they both made bowl games this year. In Delaware, in particular, playing the Raging Cajuns really slowed down late in the season. So I might be able to see Michael DeSormo winning that one with Louisiana on Wednesday in Mobile. Maybe Arkansas State Thursday, and that game is in Frisco, Texas. By the way, that's going to be in the indoor stadium at the Cowboys complex there. When they say Ford Center, that's the indoor one. It's only about 15,000 seats, but it's really nice.
Xbox Bowl is where they're playing. How about that, huh? The 68 Ventures Bowl, the Cure Bowl, the Salute to Veterans Bowl is the bowls that go on in there. So the Xbox Bowl in Frisco, Texas. Have you been to that facility? On the Big 12 media, when they go for Big 12 media days, they don't talk about the football. They just talk about the facility. Mm-hmm. It's what you would expect out of a Jerry Jones production, from what I hear. Percy, the Notre Dame deal being left out, and then Bavakwa in his kind of kind of kicking in his playpen sort of response. It seems like some other people are in there, with the ACC, and we know how they cherry pick, and then they said, we need games this year. With COVID, they gave them the games, and they allowed Notre Dame to participate in that conference championship game that year. What's going to happen with all this that they check out? Well, I mean, it's just creating a little bit more. You just kind of throwing a little gasoline on the Notre Dame hate a little bit on how they handle this?
Yes, I do think so. And I think, Pete Bavakwa, he might relent a little bit. I mean, he was upset, obviously, but Notre Dame did not come off looking that great here. Now, I understand there were some inconsistencies from the selection committee, but I think that's almost inherent in that whole process. And beyond Notre Dame, just the whole process there is very awkward. And coming up with 12 teams. They get themselves in trouble by always posting, having, what the ratings are before the final one. If we didn't know that Miami was behind Notre Dame the whole way, there wouldn't have been a big brouhaha right at the end. They got it right, though. I mean, and I sort of buy their explanation that they didn't come down to Miami versus Notre Dame until right at the end, and they had to look at the head-to-head. Well, good for them. They finally did that. Now, Miami was sitting like 18th when they started this process back in early November. So, anyway, some inconsistencies there, but I think they sort of got it right. But as far as Notre Dame goes, I mean, no, this was not a good look. I mean, listen, as an institution, college football has bent over backwards for Notre Dame in making special accommodations and special exemptions for Notre Dame throughout the years, and the TV deals and all that. And, oh, by the way, the bowl thing here, the ACC, of course they're going to campaign for Miami over Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not sharing its bowl revenue with the ACC. Now, they do have a scheduling arrangement with them. They're in the league for other things, but not for football. And, yeah, I mean, like you said, the ACC came to Notre Dame's rescue a few years ago in the COVID year, let them play a schedule for the whole conference and get them in the conference title game. Notre Dame wasn't going to be able to have enough games that year if the ACC didn't save them. So I think Bavak was going to end up regretting that. But listen, it's this sort of haughty arrogance from Notre Dame. That's the overriding sentiment, I think, coming out of that. And that's it. I haven't, unless you're a really diehard Notre Dame fan, and even a lot of them say this just wasn't a good look. So we'll see. I think it'll blow by. But if it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I would listen. I would love all the conferences to get together and say, "Look, Notre Dame, enough with you. Join a league. You know, we keep cutting out these carve-outs for you like this, and and they're doing it again next year for the in 2026 the playoff." So
that's what I'm most concerned about. Will it wake up some other athletic directors say, wait a minute, this I think it's uncovered. I don't think a lot of people realize their special stipulation for next year if they're in the top 12. Because if they finish 12 in the rankings, well, the team ahead of them is going to get shortchanged.
We'll find out in January because if they go to 16 teams, that MOU no longer applies. If they stay at 12 or 14, it does. But if they go to 16, they're not guaranteed anything.
I think that is the most damaging. That Bavakwa, it might take away that special little stipulation.
Right? They say,
wait a minute. You're acting like this because they're used to getting what they want. This is like a kid, a baby kicking and screaming in his playpen. And wait, I don't think a lot of. I heard it. Wait a minute. I've heard some AD say, "Well, this was crazy that they had this." They didn't even know.
They didn't.
What's it for our buddy Dellinger?
And if they find out, and if they say, you know what, we're going to 16 teams, and you can play whatever schedule you want, but you are eligible for an at-large bid, and that's it. You don't get any special consideration.
And Bruce, one term that you use all of it. I mean, they sure look good. Okay, they've dominated the competition, but it's not strong competition, and you've used that term over here. They're a bully. How many times we've seen bullies trash a really inferior schedule, but then struggle when they get to some different games. So even though they're power rating, and they would be more than a touchdown favorite in Norman, Oklahoma this week, they would be a favorite at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. But, I mean, do we really know? We've seen bullies look great until they stepped up in class.
You're right, and Freeman was running up score. I mean, the Syracuse game, and some of it seemed unavoidable. Even the Stanford game at the end. Now, I know they took out some of the starters right at the end of the Stanford game. Carr wasn't in there, but that last drive of the Stanford game, they were doing end arounds and halfback option passes. They're trying to jam in another score. I mean, and they didn't do it. Thankfully, Stanford held right at the end there, but you could tell what Freeman was thinking. He was thinking that the last half of the season, not great sportsmanship. That's just part and parcel of what sort of system we have, and they still reward some of that. By the way, it's not all that different than it used to be. They still value straight-up records, and they can have all the different mechanics they want and measuring devices. But, the whole process isn't a lot different than the way the old poll system used to be and how they reward these teams. And until they expand this playoff a little more, I think we're going to have more of these controversies. We'll still have some then. If we go 16, Team 17 is going to be upset. That's just inherent, I think.
Brucey, we'll talk to you on Sunday as part of Football Sunday. Get your top 2 NFL picks. We'll be live at Caesars Sportsbook down in New Orleans. Have a good weekend, Bruce.
You too. Thank you.
All right, it's wintertime right now. You're not talking about they're thinking about ACs, but now is the absolute best possible time to take advantage of our overstocked AC systems at Total Maintenance. Again, $5,500 off select systems, as well as steep discounts on the ductwork you have been putting off replacing for 30 years or so. Free evaluations of your system. Find out exact the recommendations and our options. We'll spend it out for you and come out and do an evaluation of it. Up to $5,500 off is certain systems, select systems from Total Maintenance. So Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, Rheem products. We've got all of those systems ready to put in. If your unit was worked on this past summer and it's over 10 years old, it's close to looking to replace it. Now's the time. I know you got that heater working right now, not running it, but now's the time to get the best price, up to $5,500 off select systems right now from Total Maintenance. Call my buddy Lucas Ragusa and his great staff at Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Rufino's. We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. Looking for holiday gift ideas, maybe for Dad. Right now on the website, Milwaukee Tools up to 51% off of all Milwaukee hand and power tools. All of your channel lock hand tools are up to 45% off. Tool storage, outdoor cooking, outdoor power equipment, patio furniture, cordless power tools, all available at the website right now. Also, your outdoor security cameras are on special. Your indoor security cameras, workbenches, smokeless fire pits, lots of different heaters, space heaters, outdoor heaters, all the way from the great big ones all the way to the little bitty tiny ones that you can put at your desk. Go to thethibodeaustore.com. You can get to all 4 locations from thethibodeaustore.com, the website. Most of these items are available same-day pickup, and some of them are available for delivery. New locations in LaRose and Lockport to go along with Thibodeau and Pierreport. And if you're heading down to the Thibodeau store, check it out, 900 St. Patrick Highway, Highway 70 in Pierreport, and thethibodeaustore.com. Charges are in on Sharon Moore. He was charged officially today with 3 crimes: a felony third-degree home invasion, 2 misdemeanors, stalking in a domestic relationship, and breaking and entering. There's a picture of him that is circulating online from the, I guess it was the arraignment earlier today. Jimmy, we've seen a lot of stuff in college football. We've seen some strange firings. We've seen some strange situations. There's no comp to me for this that I can think of.
When the news first comes across, a football coach, a college football coach, involved in some indiscretions. Okay. There's a long.
That's not uncommon.
That's a long list of that. But these circumstances, and as I said, we were talking off the air yesterday. Like the getting arrested part, that wasn't just this first day, or they hung out like this week for the first. You don't get to that point that quick. So how long and what led up to this is, that's what the administration at Michigan is going to try to figure out. And when it's looking at Ward Manuel, and I mean we had to see signs that maybe this could have been stopped before it got to this point. And I mean, am I being fair? I mean,
yeah,
because yes, these are. That's a powerful image of him being. It's almost like a solitary confinement,
right,
sort of a tight
the video arraignment. I think is what it was.
Yeah, I mean, and he's spent how many nights already?
2 in jail. They wouldn't let him out because they thought he was a danger to others and himself, which, I don't want to get too far down the rumor mill, but he didn't go to that house to, McNice from the story that the police are telling. I would ask Ward Manuel this if I were the university president, some form of what did you know and when did you know it? Because like you said, this just didn't start on Monday. So when you first heard of this, did you call Sharon Moore into your office? Did you go and talk to him? Did you say, or is what I'm hearing true? Are you involved in this relationship? What? Give me your side of the story at least.
Man, and that's why I'm telling you.
And if he did, what did Moore tell him?
We try and stick to the football aspect of this. Okay, is the Alabama coach? Is he going to have legitimate interest in it? Here's his name pops up. I just, Charlie, I'll go back to I'll say yesterday. If this is, and we're not done. Are we done with getting the damage that's being done to this program, to this hire? I mean, you're going to have some non-football people step in and say, hey, look, I know we love the Maize and Blue. We won more games than anybody, but we gotta get some things straight over here. We got to get some things in order, and we are not in the business of fudging and being football-centric on some of the things. I don't know. What is the Penn State, the Baylor? I mean, I hate to lump all this together, but those hires were seriously compromised. And from the football aspect of it, don't you think similar damage is going to be done?
Yes, and I'll give you where I think it's going to go first. What do we say when you fire a coach? You hire somebody that is the opposite. Whatever guy was weak at. Okay,
this is on hyper. Yeah, you really turn that up.
If you have so much as sneezed on the NCAA sidewalk, you got no shot at this job. I mean, Jesse Minter is a fine defensive coordinator. He's with the Chargers now, and his name is being brought up prominently. But he was on Harbaugh's staff when all of the other stuff came down. I think it eliminates him. Now, I could end up looking stupid. They end up hiring him. But I would imagine that anybody, if you have so much as one blemish, NCAA-wise, legal-wise, anywhere, I mean, anything more than a parking ticket, you're out. The next guy comes in, he's got to be beyond reproach.
And they love going the Michigan man route.
Yeah.
I think you got a guy on staff right now. It's a Michigan man. It's a safe play. That's not as likely to get involved in this stuff. And he's coaching the bowl game.
Biff Poggi.
Yes. I mean, he's had status in his life. And did he abuse his status for, some indiscretions? I mean, he's not used to being in a spot of status.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, and where's he on the list with all the lists coming out and things like that? This hire is damaged, man. I mean, and you're going to leave us, even DeBoer, who we all think is going to get fired, whether it's next year, the year after, whatever. He's not leaving Tuscaloosa on his own terms. That's not likely. Even him, he's going to leave the Alabama job for this uncertainty. Man, good luck.
Well, early on when Brian Kelly got fired, we had to ask who's making the hire, and I would ask the same question here.
Well. Is there a little bit of a battle going on with Brian Kelly and Cause? And you go put him in there? No shot. No, we don't think 0%.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying that Ward Manuel cannot be allowed to make this hire.
Hell no.
Okay.
We don't know what they're going to do until we figure out who's actually making the hire.
No, of course not. No, that's the layup, man. That's pregame warm-up layup.
That's the biggest reason to fire him is you cannot be allowed to make this hire.
They're taking it out of Ward Manuel's hands, and probably I've got to believe that this embarrassment, some of it is on him. Some of it. It's just a matter of how much.
Yeah.
It's his. It's part of his staff. I mean, the athletic director is the coach's superior.
Dillingham would probably fit that too. I don't think there's any problems with him.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
You think they're going to ask the coaches on that staff what they knew and when they knew it?
Man, Dillingham would be. Man, Dillingham's going to go to that. Dillingham is a hot name. Dillingham could have his choice. You going to go in that? I mean, Matt Rule, when he left Temple for Baylor, didn't have all these options that Dillingham has right now. Okay? I mean, when O'Brien took over Penn State, he was not close to the initial list that they put out. I don't think any coach with any type of leverage or options is going to Ann Arbor. I could be wrong. Been wrong before.
Well,
this is a mess.
Look, it's a mess now, but does it have to be a mess for the next coach? Can the next coach come in and say, listen, we had a rogue coach. He did a really terrible thing, and he's paying for it. But that doesn't have anything to do with me moving forward.
Charlie.
Okay? If I got a new AD, a new coach, I can start fresh. I don't. This is not like a probation. It's not like a probation.
But you don't know that.
No,
you don't know that. You don't even know who your next boss is going to be. You don't know who's the AD going to be. They can't wait around for the next AD unless they do it on hyperspeed like LSU did. I mean, they went from boom, 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 boom. I mean, in a week,
LSU
we had a new AD.
They had a number 2 in command there. I mean, is there somebody under Ward Manuel that they feel comfortable promoting?
Maybe
I have no idea.
could, but LSU, from the governor's public comments to making his car wash tour on everybody's show to them shifting. No, here's who's making a hire. Here's the guys on the board that are going to be on the search committee as well. And then to get their number 1. No, that's not common. It doesn't usually work like that.
And you do want to move
fast.
And
Brian Kelly's cause or alleged cause wasn't publicized like this. There's no images. There's just little rumors in here and that. Right. You've got people saying that Brian Kelly would be a good fit in Michigan. Ain't no shot. They make one call to Baton Rouge. That ain't happening.
He doesn't want to coach anyway.
He didn't want to coach when he was a coach.
It does give him a wonderful out, though. He said, hey, I sent my resume. My agent called Michigan. They weren't interested.
You know how that goes.
Right.
Just do what's required.
I made an effort. I called.
No, that's not the point. I can't see that they're in line waiting for this Michigan hire like if nothing had happened.
Yeah.
And Charlie, I'm going to maintain, and I don't care. My dad taught me very early: junior high, high school, college, administrative support. There's a laundry list of things. Okay. And a lot of times, the academic side and the athletic side are not in sync, are not aligned, like Mr. Kelly would say. They might be taking more control from the athletic control of this football program and it is it's one of the top-rated public universities, each and every, on that list. And it's not. Their pride is being kicked around right now. TMZ is releasing stuff on you. That's not what Michigan wants.
And this is not the only.
Michigan's
this is not the only thing. Okay,
they're taking control of that thing.
Remember the computer crimes, plus the scouting, the probation, all that stuff. No, there's a lot of things. You're right. The administration may come in and say, you know what, the grown-ups are going to take control here.
Yes. We'll take. Don't forget our friends at Town Square Pizza, Charlie. How they shaped, huh?
Love those square pizzas, man. You get in and get a very generous portion in a short period of time.
Generous portion. It's fresh, man. You could take them the specialized pizza and do it like that. They've got like a pepperoni. They got like a supreme. They got like a. We do that. We've got different costs. We've got different plant-based meats that we can put on there as well. So it's got all the different options. Go through the line, create your own, pop it in that oven. Boom, by 7 minutes, it comes out piping hot. It's fresh, and as you said, generous portions. You in town, or you got relatives in town staying downtown for the holidays? Make sure they know about Town Square Pizza. It's within a 5-minute walk of all major hotels. Heck, less than a minute walk from places like the Hilton and the Watermark just down the street. Town Square Pizza, downtown, facing Town Square.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Rufino's. A good slate of college basketball tomorrow.
It's kind of staggered throughout the day, yeah.
The early game that we should take a good look at is Texas Tech and Arkansas. They're playing a game in Dallas.
Yeah.
We're starting to get some of these lines come out now. Texas Tech is a 1.5-point favorite. We saw them blow out LSU, both of these teams with a 7-2 record, but both of them have quality losses. Arkansas's losses
Texas Tech is not as good as they were last year. Toppin is their best player. He might be first-team All-American. He's really good. But they don't have the balance that they had. Will Wade's got the point guard. That was at Williams, so he's playing at NC State this year. They're well coached. They can get better, but right now they're not where not close to that team that had Florida down 10 with 5 minutes to go.
Their losses are to Illinois and Purdue. Purdue was number one at the time. Arkansas's losses to Michigan State and Duke.
That's not embarrassing, but Wake Forest only lost by 1 in Lubbock. Good, had them beat. So, no, they're just not quite as good. They're still good in Arkansas. Calipari's complaining about the age of the college basketball. He ain't going to recruit old guys.
When's that guy not complaining?
He is. Oh, boy, he for a guy was afforded. I mean, where's his NIL budget rank? Where's his player budget rank? You
he
think?
knows what he's doing.
He's got to be top 5.
It's like going to the beach and complaining about the sand.
I know somebody. I know a guy.
Purdue is a big favorite over Marquette, 17.5. Shaka Smart's group was off to a slow start. Now, they played a difficult schedule. They played Indiana. They played Maryland. They played Oklahoma. They played Wisconsin. They've lost all of those games. They're only 5-5.
A lot of these regional, Milwaukee and, and West Lafayette, not that far, but a lot of these regional, like Rutgers and Seton Hall, they used to be in the Big East. Now they're not in different conferences. Sort of these of the Southwest Conference matchup in Dallas, like you talk about Texas Tech and Arkansas, the old Southwest. A lot of those. And the one that doesn't fit is Kansas going to Raleigh, NC State. One thing about Will Wade, you ain't worry about his non-conference schedule. It has been loaded, and they've been kind of iffy. If it was, they'd probably be in a tournament. But it's not like they have a big cushion. It's not like the automatic, like a lot of people thought.
They are actually a 1.5-point favorite over the number 19 Jayhawks.
Man,
we know it'll be close. Yes, Peterson.
Last 4 buys on Lenardi's latest bracketology, for whatever that's worth.
Nebraska's ranked, Charlie, and they won their opener this week. I was missed on that otter lock ahead Wisconsin. They blasted Wisconsin. They're undefeated. They go to Champaign, Illinois on Saturday. Yes, that's a good one. That's in conference, but that's a good one. And in Metro. Remember the old Metro 7?
I do.
Memphis State, Louisville, they were back in the old Metro. They're playing this week at the Yum Center on campus. Memphis goes to Louisville, another good game. Louisville, big favorite there. I mean, Penny, he had all the money too. They're 14.5-point underdogs here.
Yikes.
Yes.
That's a lot. Late tomorrow night, Alabama hosts number 1 Arizona, tied actually a small favorite in this game over the number 1 team in the country, 1.5. That is an 8:30 game tomorrow night.
Where did Alabama play their home football games forever?
Birmingham.
Yeah, that's where they're playing this one tomorrow.
They're playing this at the Legacy Arena downtown Birmingham. It's across the street we used to have media days, remember?
Yes, yes.
Back in the 90s.
8:30 p.m. start.
I guess they're adjusting that for TV.
So they're in the central time zone, but because they're further east, it gets dark. You think it gets dark early here?
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be dark for 4 hours. So it's going to lose before they tip off, Charlie.
They know they got a basketball team, though. I mean, they
clearly the dumpiest of facilities. And
Coleman?
Coleman. It's like an asbestos commercial if you look up top.
You went, so you can tell me. I haven't been in that arena since.
No, Oates told them they were going to have plans. They're going to do a thing. Now, they do have a new practice facility, but they're going to build a new arena. They said, no, just give me the NIL budget.
We waited out a rain delay for baseball in there the last time I think I've been in that building. Last game of the night, Gonzaga is hosting UCLA, and that game is a 10:30 start our time. Gonzaga's an 8.5-point favorite over UCLA.
Zags are as good as anybody in the country right now, if you ask me. I mean, what they have returning, and they got the low post player back. I mean, they're really, really good. Big number, might even lay it in that one late. And you got Bedlam. You got basketball
Oklahoma
Bedlam.
and Oklahoma State.
Yeah, in Oklahoma City. So, in Oklahoma State, they get their shot at Oklahoma,
And I agree with you on Gonzaga. I've seen them play twice now. I saw the game against Creighton where they really handled Creighton, and I saw the game against Alabama. I didn't see I had something else going on, the game against Michigan. So if Gonzaga is that good, how good is Michigan? Michigan beat them by 40.
I know. No, Michigan's down to plus 350 to win it all. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
Ridiculously
minus
short.
money to win the Big Ten.
And that's
in December.
Yes.
He's got his 2 bigs again. I don't know if their backcourt's going to be able to hold up. So far, they are, but Gonzaga's, Michigan. Wake Forest had them beat. They had a 6-point lead with like 3-4 minutes to go in Ann Arbor and lost in double overtime there, And Oklahoma State, battle of tempos there, too. Porter Moser. I was really impressed, speaking of Wake Forest, that Oklahoma went to Winston-Salem and beat them as bad as they did. Oklahoma State's undefeated. Lusk in his second year there, get up and down. 4 guys average between 14.5 and 16 points. All 5 starters average in double digits. Top 10 in tempo this year. So a little something on the line for Okie State in Oklahoma. Monday, Charlie got the day off. We will be live from Finbom Sushi Burrito.
Poke Ramen.
Poke Ramen. There you go. So we'll be over there by campus. It's ramen season, huh?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed. Yes,
yeah.
indeed. So we'll be there for the Monday show. And then don't forget this Sunday, if you're going down for the Carolina game, Panthers looking to take a 1-game lead. Tyler Shuck, no excuses, Max, on Monday. Panthers, one of the worst-rated defenses in the league. Saints, by the way, the last 4 games, one of the top 4 EPA yards per play. Huh?
I'm warming up to Tyler Shuck. Warming up.
Well, he don't play defense.
No, he
doesn't.
Defense.
Okay.
I'm warming up.
Well, we'll see if he takes another step as far as him being the quarterback. So that's at Caesar Sportsbook, downtown New Orleans, Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon, Football Sunday.
Back to wrap it up live at Rufino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up here at Rufino's. The timing's everything, huh? Southern Miss named their new head coach yesterday. They promoted the OC, Blake Anderson. Anderson's been a head coach a couple places. The last place he was at was Utah State. They fired him. You remember why? Allegations of sexual misconduct.
Oh, jeez.
Today you can announce this. Timing's everything. Timing is everything. He was the OC on Charles Huff's staff, and Huff left to be.
Was at Marshall with him?
Was
he at Marshall with him?
No. He was.
Okay.
He sat out a year after he got fired at Utah State.
Oh, okay.
And then he ended up at Southern Miss. Here at Rufino's, lobster ravioli, broiled filet tips, your appetizers today. The grilled Gulf fish. You love the fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
it's very good. So you got a steak special, looking for fish special, and it's going to be festive over here, man. A lot of big gatherings for the holiday season. Come on by and you can't help but get into holiday season when you come over here, Charlie.
Football Sunday from Caesars in New Orleans. That'll be Sunday morning at 10 a.m. For Jimmy, for Max, for Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.